If the whistleblowing followed by the violent apprehension 2 days later didn't convince you, perhaps what's happening now in Ukraine will. At the end of October, reports began coming out of Ukraine about an especially virulent infection that was noteworthy because it was 10 times more deadly than the known H1N1 virus, and was filling the victims' lungs with blood and turning them black. Ukraine's President Viktor Yushchenko declared martial law, blocked travel, and banned protest. He's since downplayed the pandemic and retracted some of those decrees, stating the upcoming election will proceed as planned. In only 3 weeks, the number of infected has skyrocketed to 1.6 million. In a country like Ukraine, that's a lot of people sick. Hundreds already dead, doctors, nurses, civilians. At first, some believed the outbreak could be the pandemic plague, a bacterial infection that targets the lungs, caused the Black Death pandemic in the 1300s, and still crops up from time to time, including recently in China. But plague kills even faster than this outbreak does, and can easily be cured with the antibiotic gentamicin. Other theorized culprits were the H1N1, either the known form or a mutated strain, or some other microbe. The World Health Organization, which had collected and analyzed samples early in the outbreak, delayed releasing the results for almost 3 weeks. They repeatedly denied that the results indicated the infection was caused by a mutated strain of H1N1.
There are fears that the H1N1 virus has now mutated and resembles the Spanish flu virus that killed more than 50 million people at the beginning of the 20th century. Ukrainian doctors say the lungs of the victims are as black as charcoal. This prompts fresh concern that the swine flu virus has taken a deadly new form. Our correspondent Igor Ogorodnev went to the epicenter of the outbreak in western Ukraine.
Make no mistake about it, Ukraine is in the throes of a swine flu crisis. I'm here in Lviv. Lviv has been one of the hotspots where the virus has been at its worst. It's become fashionable to trivialize swine flu and say it's just like normal flu. But doctors here say it isn't. It's more aggressive and it's more likely to lead to complications. Some theories published in the British papers suggesting that the virus had mutated in Ukraine and had become something more potent than it had been elsewhere in the world.
The mutant flu virus, which has sent waves of panic throughout western Ukraine, continues its seemingly unstoppable march. Only the fevered speculation of where it came from is spreading faster than the illness. Igor Ogorodnev reports tonight from western Ukraine.
1.5 million have been infected. Tens of thousands more fall ill every day. More than 300 people, many of them with no previous health problems, are dead. The rapid spread of disease has given rise to rumors, finger-pointing and conspiracy theories. Doctors in western Ukraine have told of post-mortems where the lungs of the victims were said to be as black as charcoal, comparing the symptoms to the Spanish flu which wiped out millions in 1918. Others even believe a pneumonic plague is to blame for the high death toll. Another theory causing a frenzy on the internet links the outbreak to deliberate mass spraying of chemicals by planes over Kiev. Local newspapers reported hundreds of eyewitness accounts suggesting this. And then there are those who claim the epidemic was engineered by pharmaceutical companies.
This may be a mutation of H1N1. Autopsies being performed are showing that the victims' lungs are pitch black. The DNA of a woman who died in the 1918 pandemic was recovered from her corpse. The DNA was used to recreate this virus.
The World Health Organization denies that this is anything but ordinary swine flu.
Then, today, quietly, the WHO released the results. Here's a screenshot showing the Ukraine outbreak is indeed caused by a D225G receptor binding domain change, exactly what H1N1 needed to become more deadly and more easily spread from person to person. WHO deception aside, this is great news for influenza and terrible news for humans. A little background on Baxter. Back in February, they distributed a mixture of live flu viruses throughout Europe, labeled as H5N1 flu vaccine. By chance, some ferrets were injected at a lab in Czech Republic and promptly died. Baxter admitted their error. Experts stated if the viral cocktail had been injected into humans, aside from obviously causing another outbreak, The viruses would have combined through a process called reassortment into an incredibly dangerous hybrid strain. For a live viral cocktail to be shipped in place of human vaccines, several strict security measures and dozens of human errors would have to have occurred at the same time. Baxter refused to disclose how the accident occurred, saying doing so would give their competitors knowledge of their procedures. In addition, there's a rumor that Obama owns Baxter stock, but I haven't been able to substantiate that. Who and where is Moshe? First, here's his profile on an Israeli research website. It shows he worked there until 2004 and was voted top Israeli scientist in 1996 for his work in virology. According to this website and others, he was born in 1939, which would make him 70 today, and 65 when he retired in Israel. I'm unable to find any info about him working in LA, although he appears to have still been publishing virology papers. Since the arrest, rumors circulated that Moshe had been taken to Israel, or placed in the Patton State Mental Hospital nearby. But here's where he really is. This image shows that Moshe was taken to Twin Towers Correctional Facility in LA on the evening of the standoff, where he remains, and that his next court date is January 25th. Everything matches, except that they've listed his age as 56. Did they arrest the wrong Joseph Moshe? Some things aren't yet clear, and more research is needed, but here's some solid facts. A virologist named Joseph Moshe worked in Israel until 2004. A man with similar appearance and the same name was dramatically arrested and jailed in Los Angeles in August. A radio show host then announced a man with the same name and background had told him Baxter would release a mutated H1N1 strain in Ukraine in late October. An outbreak began in Ukraine in late October and has now been confirmed as a mutated H1N1 strain. It now seems poised to spread through Europe and Asia. The mainstream media is completely silent about both the Westwood standoff, the Ukrainian outbreak, and any potential connection between the two. Once again, to mutate this video so it can spread virally, please rate it, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.